On June 12, 2025, an Air India Boeing 787 crashed shortly after takeoff from Ahmedabad, killing over 200 people. It was one of India's worst air disasters in recent years. Investigators are now working to find out what went wrong. They are examining plane's black box and wreckage for clues. Many possible causes are being considered, like engine failure, technical issues, or crew error. Experts from India, Boeing, and other countries are helping with the investigation. It may take time, but the black box data will help uncover the truth. In this video, let's understand why finding the black box is so important in aircraft investigations and how it actually works. What if I told you the black box on an airplane isn't even black, it's bright orange? That's because the bright color makes them easier to find after the crash, especially in the ocean or thick forests. The term black box comes from the early days when they are actually black, but orange is much more practical. A black box isn't just one box, it's actually two separate devices that work together to help investigators figure out what happened before a plane crash. First, there's the flight data recorder. This device records a lot of important details about the flight, like the plane's altitude, direction, speed, whether autopilot was on, how much fuel was left, cabin pressure, temperature, and more. It records about 88 different details and keeps data from last 25 hours of the flight. Then there's the cockpit voice recorder. This one captures the last 2 hours of sound inside the cockpit. That includes conversations between the pilots, beeping alarms, engine noise, and the background sounds. Believe it or not, trained investigators can sometimes solve an entire mystery just by listening to these sounds. Black boxes go through some of the most brutal testings in the world. The outer case you see is not what protects the data. Its actual memory is stored in a crash survivable memory unit, which is wrapped in heat-resistant insulation and then covered in a tough metal shell, usually steel or titanium. These boxes are tested to survive a crash force of 3,400 Gs. They are built to survive fire for 1 hour at over 1,100 degrees Celsius. They can also stay underwater for a long time, even in salt water or jet fuel, without damage. The idea of black box actually goes back to the 1950s. At the time, the first commercial jet, called the Comet, had 5 serious crashes in just its first 2 years of service. They had no way to know exactly what went wrong inside the plane before the crash. That's when people realized, what if we could record everything happening on the aircraft so we could understand the final moments? The idea led to the invention of flight recorder. The first versions were very basic. They would etch data onto the thin metal foil, kind of scratching lines on a sheet to show changes in altitude, speed, or direction. It was helpful, but still very limited. Then came the 1970s. The technology improved. Flight recorders switched to magnetic tapes, which allowed more data to be stored and reviewed. And by the 1990s, we reached the modern era, using solid-state memory chips, like the ones in your phone or computer. These chips don't have moving parts, so they are much tougher and more reliable during a crash. Black boxes are usually placed at the very back of an aircraft, since that's often the part that suffers the least damage during a crash. To help locate them if they land in water, each one has an underwater locator beacon. These beacons turns on automatically and start sending out sound pulses like sonar pings once every second. It can keep sending signals for up to 30 days and works at depths of up to 14,000 feet. Some people suggested sending black box data to satellites instead of keeping it on the plane. But this isn't done yet because it's too expensive, complicated, and the amount of data is huge. There are also privacy concerns and technical limits, like weak signals in remote areas. That's why most airlines still rely on physical black boxes, which is built to survive crashes and store all the important data safely. The black box doesn't give every single answer immediately. Sometimes it takes weeks or even months to fully understand what caused a crash. But without black box, many aircraft accidents would remain total mysteries. These devices are one of the most valuable tools in aviation safety. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with a friend, and hit the subscribe button for more awesome stories like this.